Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star Part 232 based on novel. So let's start. The great beings conversed excitedly among themselves. Meeting a friend? Craftsman Master is meeting a friend, so we're just going to wait here and do nothing? From my perspective, we should go to the original stars first, and perhaps we can get something precious. The original stars will stay open for 1,000 eras. It's only just begun. We have plenty of time. That's right. We don't need to rush now. Let's ask Craftsman Master to help us make a true treasure, and then we'll go to the original stars. We can get more valuables with the true treasures. Let's go. No, let's wait. The great beings of other races from various territories in the universe were quite disappointed and started to go back to their residence. All 500 of the great beings kneeling at the foot of the mountain were upset as well, but they continued groveling and didn't dare stand up. They believed that there were great beings watching their every move, reporting back to Craftsman Master. Sincerity was of the utmost importance if someone wanted to be a disciple. One might be eliminated if he wasn't sincere enough while groveling. Let's go, Luo Feng, said Chrysalis Knight. We might need to wait for thousands of years for Craftsman Master. Okay. Luo Feng nodded, smiled, and walked back with Chrysalis Knight. He stood in front of the door and looked up at Craftsman Mountain. Meeting a friend? Thought Luo Feng. Does that mean Craftsman Master is not here? His eyes gleamed. A great opportunity. He had been waiting for half a year, but it was still impossible for him to get the black metal with Craftsman Master guarding the Craftsman Mountain. Craftsman Mountain is the sanctuary of the entire planet, and Craftsman Master lives here, Luo Feng thought. Only Craftsman Master and his disciples can live on the mountain, while other great beings were not allowed without permission, which means there are only a few great beings on Craftsman Mountain. As for his disciples, no one is a universe master, based on the information I gathered. Craftsman Master had 182 disciples in total. Some disciples were universe knights, and some were undying. Although Craftsman Master only picked those who were highly talented, none of his disciples had reached the level of universe master. One of the reasons was that it was exceedingly difficult to become a universe master. Another reason was that his disciples devoted most of their time and energy to making weapons, and hence, they didn't get enough training. Nobody can stop me if there are no universe masters, thought Luo Feng. But I still need to be careful. It won't be easy to get something from Craftsman Master. Luo Feng was afraid that Craftsman Master might come back if he didn't act in time, so when it turned dark, he sent Mosha Body carrying his original Earthling body. Mosha Body was the best at fleeing and hiding. The original Earthling body had the same level of combat power as Remote Ocean Body, which was why the Remote Ocean Body was waiting at the mountainside and observing how everything went while the original Earthling body and Mosha Body started to climb the hill. Mosha Body shrank to the size of an ant and stood beside a stone on the hillside of Craftsman Mountain. He looked up at the towering Craftsman Mountain. Craftsman Master, Mosha Body said, stepping forward. He teleported himself to the depths of Craftsman Mountain. He was able to teleport himself and match the space ripples without being noticed by universe knights. He arrived at the closest spot to the valuable after just 2 teleportations. On the hillside of Craftsman Mountain were numerous gigantic caves billowing steam exceeding temperatures of 1 million degrees. The steam flowed around Craftsman Mountain, and the energy contained in the steam was equivalent to that of a star. Every cave glowed red in color. Mosha Body, under a rock, didn't care much about the steam. The energy of stars was nothing to him now. Space seal? Mosha Body thought. Around 1/10 of Craftsman Mountain is enveloped by the steam, and it is under space seal. It means this is the center of Craftsman Mountain. As Mosha Body watched, 2 towering beings suddenly walked out of one of the caves. One of them was around 70 feet tall with 4 claws. Various patterns coated his naked body. The other was around 300 feet tall and had thick arms. The 2 of them walked out together, and Luo Feng could tell from their power that they were both undying. It's too hot inside, the 4-clawed creature exclaimed. We couldn't even stand it for a second. How are we supposed to make top-tier treasures if we don't have enough time? We're just not strong enough, replied the other. Look at our universe Knight-level brothers. They're able to make weapons at the center, and they can keep trying. Especially our ninth brother. I really admire ninth brother. Not only is ninth brother a universe overlord, but he also has true treasure armor, and he's an energy life form of the fire category. He's able to go deep into the center to make weapons, and he has been bestowed some precious material used by our teacher. See, he's already made a senior true treasure, and is second only to our teacher on the craftsman star. The towering creature shook his head and exclaimed, "It'll be much better if we can become universe knights. It's not that easy." The two undying fighters were not alerted to Moshe Body's presence. After all, there was no reason to expect that anyone would trespass on Craftsman Mountain. Moshe Body heard their conversation easily. The center, he thought. It seems most of their brothers are staying at the mountain center. He looked at the cave. And the center of the mountain is the center of the space seal. I can feel that the fourth black metal is at the center of the mountain. I need to be careful. I must not be discovered by the disciples of Craftsman Master. Moshe Body was careful. Although he was proficient at stealth, many of Craftsman Master's disciples were universe knights or even universe overlords. Inside the space-sealed area, teleportation was not allowed. Moshe Body instead performed his inherited technique domain and went into a cave. The two undying fighters outside the cave never noticed a thing. It was blistering hot inside, and Moshe Body moved forward carefully. The cave was surprisingly deep, and the deeper he went, the hotter it got. Some rocks inside the cave glowed red with the heat. It was so scorching in here that Luo Feng thought sector lords might be killed instantly by the temperature alone. Upon hearing a series of rhythmic sounds, Luo Feng turned into a stone and rolled inside. Some of the patterns on the stone allowed for sight, and Luo Feng observed the distant places using them. The fire was surging. At the top of the fire, life forms of other races of all sizes used hammers to pound the metal, producing the sounds he had heard, hong, pa. They're all undying, Moshe Body thought. My black metal is down there. He performed domain again and traveled almost 6,000 miles down. He moved still deeper with domain and was able to avoid attracting the attention of the great beings of other races who were making the weapons. Luo Feng noticed something special about how the disciples of Craftsman Master made weapons. Those who were at the top of the flames used a strange type of hammer, while those in the middle of the flames were universe knights who used hammers of different sizes and needed to wield them using their godly power. As for the bottom of the fire, there were only 3 universe knights. One of them was the ninth brother those two undying fighters had talked about. Apparently, the fire intimidated all ordinary universe knights. It's right down there, whispered Luo Feng. My black metal is right down there. He hid beside a rock, camouflaged as a small stone. I can sense clearly that the black metal is above the 3 universe knights at the bottom. They might notice me if I go there. What should I do? Luo Feng grew anxious. He could sense that the black metal was around 180 miles away from him, and the 3 universe knights at the bottom were also around 180 miles away from him. That meant the black metal was close to the 3 universe knights. Just wait, Luo Feng told himself. I bet they won't keep making weapons here for long. Luo Feng watched the 3 beings in silence. Although Luo Feng didn't know anything about weapon making, he was still amazed at how the 3 universe overlords made the weapons. It was an art. The 3 universe overlords only used strange hammers at different sizes, but the hammer wielded by that ninth brother was unique. It looked fierce enough to shatter the universe, yet as mild as a breeze. All the materials it touched mixed with each other perfectly, and the scene was breathtaking. After more than a month, the ninth brother ceased his work and announced, "Haha, the top-tier set treasure is finally finished. If the material were good enough, I could have made a true treasure. Congratulations, ninth brother. Congratulations. Haha," he laughed in triumph. "Now, I'll go and have a rest." "Sounds good. Let's go together." "Let's go." With that, the 3 universe overlords finally went to rest. They flew out of the flame like beams of light. After they disappeared, Luo Feng turned back into a human form, robed in black. Finally, he said, looking down at where the black metal was. In the twinkling of an eye, the black-robed figure of Luo Feng transformed into a rush of black current and condensed into a stone. Thereafter, he fell directly toward the bottom. As the stone fell, it bumped its way down into the deepest depths of the mountain. The stone rammed into the red-hot stone wall and finally came to a halt. Then the stone transformed back into the black-robed form of Luo Feng. "I've arrived," he said, taking in the view before him. He could not help exclaiming, "So beautiful." This was the bedrock of the mountain. He could see a strange, black matter about 6 miles ahead. It hung suspended in the air, standing than 10 feet tall and in the shape of a gourd-class object. As this black gourd hovered in midair, its mouth facing upwards, it spurted endless flames that spread outward, nearly filling up the entire mountain. Disciples of craftsman master who were undying beings and universe knights created weapons forged by the heat of these endless flames. As the black gourd hovered in the air, there were invisible connections all over the place, like lengths of chain that could not be seen by the naked eye, connecting the mountain with virtual space. Although these chains were invisible, there were traces of flames strung onto them. They came from the surrounding space and moved inward, directly into the gourd's mouth. "There are a total of 36 virtual chains," said Luo Feng. He frowned inwardly. "This black gourd seems to merge with the limitless space here. And through this limitless space, it absorbs and stores energy from the flame continually. Is that how it maintains its ability to produce eternal flames?" Luo Feng was master of Star Tower. Star Tower absorbed energy from the vast universe to continue revolving, and so, looking at this black gourd, based on what he knew, Luo Feng was able to make a similar judgment quickly. Unquestionably, the flames near to the gourd's mouth will require the power of a universe overlord to ward off, he said. These endless flames spread out almost 100 miles away. Every individual flame is strong enough to annihilate an eternal star. With such energy is being released continuously, there must be a source where it comes from. Luo Feng could sense that the energy of these endless flames was being continuously transmitted into the black gourd through the 36 virtual chains. Space transmission? Wondered Luo Feng. What method is craftsman master using to maintain such an energy-consuming process? As a master craftsman of true treasures, he wouldn't be so foolish as to use up his own energy so relentlessly. There must be a source. Like Star Tower. To maintain such strong energy. Luo Feng's eyes lit up as the realization dawned upon him. Of course. The Craftsman Star. Only the Craftsman Star can do that. Craftsman Star is the greatest true treasure that Craftsman Master ever created. With its massive size, it can absorb the limitless energy in the atmosphere of the entire virtual space. Could it be that the star absorbs and internalizes the surrounding energy, then transmits the energy to the gourd? This gourd. It could be a part of the Craftsman Star. After a few seconds of observation, Luo Feng had deduced the truth. Craftsman Master had made the Craftsman Star for 2 reasons. One was to build a protective home for himself. The other was to construct a primary tool for creating true treasures. The entire Craftsman Star would be used to absorb limitless energy and continuously churn out flames, which were drawn to the black gourd for the forging process. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone, said Luo Feng. Just by modifying the massive Craftsman Star, he was able to achieve this effect. In fact, with Craftsman Master's ability, it would be a piece of cake. He stared at the black gourd. I can sense that the black metal board is inside that black gourd. What should I do? Take the gourd away? The thought crossed his mind, but he banished it instantly. It was a laughable idea. The black gourd was a part of Craftsman Star, it was a subject with a master. Craftsman Master would certainly know if he were to take it away. More importantly, Luo Feng was not the master of Craftsman Star. If he wanted to take the black gourd, a component of it, he would have to take the entire Craftsman Star. Given the weight and power of Craftsman Star, he might as well have tried to move Thousand Treasure River. Even a universe master wouldn't have been able to make it budge. In this way, it was just like Star Tower. If it were to completely unleash its power, even a universe supreme master would not be able to take it away. I'd better not move the black gourd, Luo Feng told himself. I should not act rashly. The gourd's mouth will always be open to spurt out flames. But if I follow the path of the flames being drawn into the gourd's mouth, there's no reason I should meet with any obstructions. Still, Luo Feng was not so sure. He wondered whether the gourd was empty on the inside or filled with even more terrifying flames. Heck, I'm going to go all out, he said. The black metal board is inside the gourd. I have to go in. The temptation was just too strong. In an instant, the black-robed form of Luo Feng's godly body split into two. One was his Mosha body, the other was his original earthling body. Mosha body shall try first. Right away, he used his talent technique domain. In the blink of an eye, he was taking the path into the gourd through the gourd's mouth. Stepping directly into a bed of red-hot, endless flames, Mosha body did not even have a moment to look around, nor did it have even a moment to react before it was annihilated. Not even a strand of hair managed to make contact with the flames. Moshari body was gone in an instant, up in flames faster than it took a single strand of hair to burn. The moment a godly body entered, it was annihilated immediately, without a split second to react. Luo Feng studied the black gourd suspended in the air by the 36 virtual chains. Instantly, his body unleashed some godly power that rapidly converged to restore Mosha body. Mosha body might have been similar to his original earthling body in size, but qualitatively, there was a substantial difference. Only a small amount of godly power was required to restore his Mosha body. Time to let my original earthling body try, said Luo Feng. This godly body of mine is comparable to an ordinary universe knight. Luo Feng frowned as he took out a world ring and tossed it over to his Mosha body. At the same time, he also went into the world ring. Go. Mosha body immediately took the world ring and used the talent technique domain again. Instantly, they made their way to the black gourd's mouth. Inside the world ring, Luo Feng looked up at the sky to see the countless cracks on this side of the world. The next thing he knew, the world around him collapsed. Having briefly witnessed how terrifying the flames were, it was obvious that the material used to make the world ring was starting to melt. Then everything on this side of the world collapsed. The next moment, Luo Feng found standing right in the heart of the flames. This is the inside of the black gourd, he said. The moment he appeared in this flaming space, the first sensation he felt was scalding hot. He was reminded of how it had felt when he had first scalded himself as a child. Yet, given his willpower today, Luo Feng was able to suppress this bit of pain without difficulty. Black metal board, he said. Luo Feng felt as though every cell of his body was boiling. The feeling was insane. He lowered his gaze to the bottom of this flaming space. There were many various materials here, and all were very precious and unique. All were able to put up with the high temperature without any trouble. And among them was the black metal board. At the foot of Craftsman Mountain, everything was peaceful, just like any other day. Amid the countless buildings left behind by various great beings from all over the universe, remote ocean Luo Feng stood at the door of his courtyard. Mosha body was annihilated in an instant, he thought. Its consciousness did not even have time to react. My original earthling body only managed to lower his head. Though it was only a split second, his consciousness was allowed a moment of thought. Remote ocean Luo Feng sighed to himself. This is so nerve-wracking, he whispered. No wonder universe overlords can only resist the flames from outside. The flames on the inside of the gourd are far more frightening than those on the outside. Luo Feng turned to go back into the house. He sat down cross-legged, to think in silence. The flaming space within the black gourd contains extremely precious materials. However, these may only be a portion of the materials Craftsman Master owns. Luo Feng understood that every type of material had different characteristics. Not every material was suitable to be stored within such a scorching hot place. This would be determined by the great being's natural instincts. Truly precious materials would be carried about by great beings so that they could safeguard them. My remote ocean body is much bigger than my original earthling body. The power of its godly body is much stronger, so I suppose it may be able to hold on much longer. Craftsman Master has 3 formidable disciples, the one called Ninth Brother and 2 others who are currently not around. I cannot miss such perfect timing. Let's give it a shot. Luo Feng made up his mind. He divided some godly power and directed it to converge with his Mosha body. Then Mosha body brought his remote ocean body over to Craftsman Mountain, where they snuck in once again. Mosha body snuck into the bedrock of the mountain easily for the second time, then stopped a distance away from the black gourd suspended in midair. Are the flames really that powerful? He muttered. I only need a small amount of time to grab the black metal board and fly out quickly. With remote ocean body, Mosha entered the black gourd once again. Inside, Mosha body was annihilated in an instant, as expected. The world ring melted, and the side of the internal world collapsed. The moment remote ocean body appeared, he lowered his head and accelerated toward the bottom in one swift dive. Black metal board. Endless, red-hot flames annihilated the godly body of remote ocean body in a frenzied craze by the time he had managed to cover only about half the distance. Before remote ocean body was able to get to the bottommost area of the flaming space, where all the precious materials were, it was destroyed. Yin Fa Secret Region, 3,000 light-years from Craftsman Star. A universe planet ship hovered in midair. In the control room, an adorable golden horned beast, only 3 feet long, lay sprawled on the sofa. Its eyes were full of frustration, and it was mumbling under its breath, I knew it wouldn't be so easy. I knew it. Those frightening flames were much too powerful. Just like how a pinnacle emperor can easily subdue an official level undying with one hand, Craftsman Star has annihilated my godly body effortlessly. Remote ocean body was massive, it continued, but it only took a split second for it to be destroyed. The difference is much too great. No matter how much energy my godly body has, it is bound to burn. This power is more terrifying than the attack of a universe overlord, more powerful than the greatest attack by Chi Blood Palace leader. I'm sure it far surpasses the limit of defense of ordinary true treasure armor. Under such force, just as how Golden King armor's power was greatly reduced, to weaken it by 1/10 would be considered a blessing. Golden Horned Beast shook its little head and continued mumbling, even if the power could be weakened to 1/10, persevering would still be impossible in those endless flame. The fire within Black Gourd is more powerful than any other flames in the outside world. The outside world needs universe overlords who have ordinary true treasure armor. In that gourd, isn't it a must to depend on force armor? With my force armor, the strength of the flames could be reduced to 110,000. That would make things much easier. But if I fail, I would lose force armor, too. Golden Horned Beast lay sprawled in the same spot, letting out low growls intermittently. I knew it. It is not that easy. Not that easy. To bring force armor or not. To go or not to go. Luo Feng sat down on the sofa with a wine glass in his hand. Golden Horned Beast was also lay sprawled on the sofa. Both sat there, deep in thought. A spaceship floated in a space more than 3,000 light-years from Craftsman Star. Should I go or not? Luo Feng wondered. He had sent remote ocean body out before. He didn't mind a slight energy loss, and he wouldn't care about the Golden King armor. However, after experiencing the power of the flames, and seeing the 3 Universe Overlord disciples of Craftsman Master standing outside the flames wearing ordinary true treasure armors, Luo Feng had confirmed that ordinary true treasure armors were not enough. Should I use my force armor? Luo Feng frowned. Star Tower and Force Armor were the most important true treasures he had. The Force Armor would still be a great boon to him, even he became a Universe Master in the future. Luo Feng thought about it for more than 6 hours. Numerous ideas popped up in his head, but all were vetoed. I'll go, he finally decided. After a short while, Mosha body took off with Golden Horned Beast body and Remote Ocean body. Luo Feng had 6 true treasures in total: Tower Pearl, Star Map, Wu Wing, Force Armor, Golden King Armor, and 9 Tiger River. He sent the Golden Horned Beast carrying 3 true treasures: Force Armor, Wu Wing, and 9 Tiger River. The Force Armor was for Golden Horned Beast to resist the fire, and the Wu Wings and 9 Tiger River were to be used to escape. As for Golden King Armor and Star Map, they were useless under these circumstances. Although Tower Pearl was helpful, it was used for Star Tower to recognize Luo Feng as his master, and he couldn't lose it. Compared to Force Armor, the supreme true treasure star tower was far more important to Luo Feng. Thus, he wouldn't risk it. If I fail and lose my force armor, losing my Shawu wings and 9 Tiger River will be the least of my worries, Luo Feng thought. Compared to force armor, 9 Tiger River and Shawu wing were worthless. Inside the vast space in Craftsman Star were space whirlpools beyond count. Mosha body floated in the sky and looked at the Craftsman Star in the distance. I must get the 4th black metal, he said. If Craftsman Master is there, I won't be able to get it. Fortunately, he happens to be outside, and the 3 universe overlords are resting. I might need to wait for an eternity if I miss this chance. I must go, he thought. Even if I fail and lose the force armor, there's still a chance I can get it back when I become stronger in the future. After all, Craftsman Master won't be able to use it, even if he does get it. It won't be difficult to get it back. And besides, Masters Washan Ku might also interfere. The force armor was made by him, and it won't be a problem for him to get the armor back. After taking this all into consideration, Luo Feng decided to go. His force armor was important to him, but the 4th black metal was even more so. Once he got it, he was likely to make his golden horned beast body reach the perfect life gene level, after which he could perform the inherited technique known as I Am the Universe. My power will surge with this move, he said. Even if I lose my force armor and get killed, my boundless remote ocean body will create more bodies. There's nothing to worry about. Although his force armor was significant to Luo Feng, it wasn't vital. Still, if it weren't for the 4th metal of the 9-volume manual, he wouldn't have risked it. Mosha body teleported himself to Craftsman Star and entered the Craftsman Mountain after another teleportation. He was experienced, now. He had used his inherited technique domain to enter the cave before and now went deeper inside. After performing domain 100 times, he arrived in the deepest portion of the mountainside. A 3-foot-tall golden horned beast floating in the air gazed at the black gourd connected by 36 chains. The gourd's mouth expelled endless flames, which were so powerful that they might turn an ordinary treasure into ashes. The golden horned beast body had performed deities of the earth, beast god transformation, and inherited technique amplification, and had reached his limit. He had even hidden a world ring that contained the remote ocean body and Mosha body. I'm consuming the godly power while the remote ocean body is supplying godly power, he said. The golden horned beast body, remote ocean body, together with force armor. I'll definitely get the 4th black metal now. The golden horned beast body shrank to the size of a fist. He flew toward the mouth of the gourd. The black gourd was 10 feet tall, and its mouth was about the size of a human head. He entered the gourd. Inside, the golden horned beast body immediately felt the horrifying heat of the flames. The black gourd was used to extract fire for Craftsman Master to make weapons. The flames that spewed from it made up only a small portion of the fire that raged inside. Here, the flames were much stronger, perhaps enough to annihilate a top-tier set treasure. The flames were endless. The golden horned beast became 3 feet long and drove the force armor by burning his godly body, which maximized his defense. Ha ha ha. Nice. The force armor is indeed impressive. Although the fire is mighty, it's weakened to only 1/10,000th of its original power. It's still consuming my godly body, but it doesn't have any real effects now. Perhaps only 20% of my godly body will be gone when I get the black metal and leave. Actually, his godly body was already being consumed quickly, but Luo Feng remained fairly relaxed. The golden horned beast dove down. The godly body was also consumed gradually. 99.9%, 99.7%, 99.5%, 98.7%. However, after a short while, the remote ocean body started to transfer godly power from the world ring to restore the golden horned beast body, and it went back to 100%. The remote ocean body had the same amount of godly power as the golden horned beast body did. Luo Feng kept diving down. The space inside the gourd was not large, having a diameter of around 6,000 miles, and the golden horned beast body reached the bottom quickly. However, once he hit the bottom, he started to succumb to the heat. The flames at the bottom of the gourd were more sizzling than in any other area. Apparently, it was the essence of the fire. The flames glinted purple. 97%. 94%. 91%. 88%. His godly body was being quickly consumed. No. I need to hurry. The golden horned beast reached the bottom where there were lots of materials. He grabbed the fourth black metal. There was dimming black light on the black metal and the material at the bottom. The golden horned beast wasn't able to catch the black metal with all the integrated black light. Howl. The golden horned beast looked down. The fire was worming its way inside the bottom of the gourd through the engravings in the black light. Energy accumulated at the bottom. Apparently, it was an engraving seal used to store the energies, and the materials were sealed under it. Trying to stop me by using an engraving seal without a master, he said. Break. His Shi Wu wing slashed the black light. The black light was cut in half. His hoof grabbed the black metal, and he swallowed it. The godly power recognized him as his master like before, and the information contained in the black metal was transferred to him. Go. The golden horned beast didn't dare hesitate. His godly body was down to only 62%, and the remote ocean body was at only 68%. The golden horned beast shrank to the size of a fist and flew out of the gourd through its mouth. He landed on a rock. Finally, I got it, the golden horned beast said, elated. An enormous amount of power suddenly arrived, frightening golden horned beast. No. Cutting the engraving seal alerted the craftsman master. He came back to his home to see what happened. You dare to break my engraving, an ancient voice roared. A gigantic arm descended through all the fire, and the golden horned beast was seized. The golden horned beast felt the pressure pressing down on him. His godly body was quickly consumed. 50%. 42%. 36%. Supply. Remote ocean body. Supply. Golden horned beast grew anxious. His godly body was quickly restored by the energies from the remote ocean body. When the palm stopped exerting power, remote ocean had already used up his power entirely, and the power in the golden horned beast body was only at 42%. You survived my attack. The rocky arm grasped the golden horned beast. There was a rumbling sound. He was craftsman master, and the conception contained in that move was enough to annihilate an ordinary universe overlord. You withstood my grab and have only stolen a material that is of no use anyway, said craftsman master. I'll spare your life. The space was reversed. The golden horned beast felt the space and time around him changing, and he was already out in the space surrounding the craftsman star when he began to see things clearly again, in front of one of the giant space whirlpools. There are 98,200 wormholes, said the giant form of craftsman master, standing 6 million miles tall. 2 of them lead to places in the land of extremis. The giant threw the golden horned beast into one of the giant space whirlpools, one bearing a tablet reading, Land of Extremis on it. I've given you a chance to survive, the voice said, entering into Luo Feng's mind as the golden horned beast was tossed through the space whirlpool. Golden horned beast was thrown into the space whirlpool, and craftsman master, the mountain giant who was as tall as tens of millions of miles, stood quietly in the air, watching the space whirlpool that would lead to the land of extremis. Craftsman master was a mountain giant, millions of miles tall, with many gigantic glass arms sticking out of it. At one look, it would seem to have at least 100 gigantic arms. Furthermore, the stone face of the mountain bore an enormous pair of eyes. Golden horned beast, he said, don't blame me if you are trapped in the land of extremis for trillions of years. Craftsman master gazed at the space whirlpool and continued, all of these are teacher sitting mountain guests' instructions. Craftsman master could not help letting out a soft sigh. Poor fellow. Sitting mountain guest's wish would always be craftsman master's command. He would carry out his orders without fail. Given his capability, his skills in making weapons, and his massive, mountainous godly body, he really had nothing to fear when facing a universe supreme master. Firstly, he was capable and had a massive godly body in addition to a flying palace-type true treasure, craftsman star. He was able to fend for himself when facing other universe supreme masters. Secondly, he had an extensive network of friends. On the level of universe supreme masters alone, a few were very close to him. He was also close to the human race, the demon race, and several other races, as many would frequently employ his help in making true treasures. So, if any other universe supreme masters dared to command him about, he would dismiss them without a second thought. But things were different with Sitting Mountain Guest. Craftsman Master treated Sitting Mountain Guest with the utmost respect. Back in his younger days, he was passionate about making weapons and was very gifted in this aspect. During the earliest stage of the birth of the universe, when very few lifeforms existed, Craftsman Master was already a universe knight. Once, while making weapons, Sitting Mountain Guest happened to sit by his side and watch him work. At that time, he was furious. How could his skill of making true treasures be seen by other great beings who might pick up his skills secretly? He was fuming, but there was nothing he could do. Sitting Mountain Guest was already a universe supreme being at that point in time. His power to control the surrounding universe could have rendered Craftsman Master immobile. Thereafter, Sitting Mountain Guest gave his 2 cents worth on Craftsman Master's weapon-making skills, commending his merits but also pointing out his shortcomings. He even gave pointers on how improvements could be made to boost his weapon-making skills. Craftsman Master had been appalled. During that period, the lonely Sitting Mountain Guest had resided on Craftsman Master's planet, where Craftsman Master was still a nobody and had yet to earn his reputation by remodeling a flying palace-type true treasure. Occasionally, Sitting Mountain Guest would give him some pointers. This had allowed Craftsman Master's skills to increase by leaps and bounds. Even his law comprehension showed tremendous improvement. Eventually, he achieved a breakthrough and attained the Universe Master level. His skills in making weapons also reached a very high standard. Your skills have already attained an extremely high level, Sitting Mountain Guest had said. My guidance is no longer useful. What happens next will be up to you to discover and experience. Sitting Mountain Guest had left him thereafter. From the beginning to the end, Sitting Mountain Guest had not mentioned anything about making him a disciple. He also had not taught him any self-cultivation techniques, nor had he given Craftsman Master any true treasures. Sitting Mountain Guest's help was merely staying on his planet for a longer time to guide him in improving his skill in making weapons. Still, Craftsman Master had always used the salutation of Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest. In his heart, he thought of Sitting Mountain Guest as his teacher. There were a few occasions where he asked Sitting Mountain Guest to be his teacher, but Sitting Mountain Guest was unresponsive. When Sitting Mountain Guest approached him with instruction this time around, he would certainly perform the task to his very best and absolutely without a trace of delay. Poor fellow. But you are one lucky fellow, Craftsman Master lamented with a sigh. Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest has set a test for you. To train you. I think it means that he thinks of you as his disciple. However, Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest has very high expectations. If you are unable to make it out on your own, you will be trapped in the land of extremis for all eternity. Craftsman Master let out yet another sigh. The next instant, that massive being vanished into space and went back to Craftsman Star. A moment later, the 3 disciples of Craftsman Master flew down toward the foot of Craftsman Mountain, where over 500 universe knights and undying beings, all of whom were gifted with talents in making weapons, were kneeling in wait. Teacher has returned, shouted one of the 3 disciples. Teacher has returned, announced another. You should all start preparing quickly. Soon, Teacher will be testing you all. Only those who pass the final test get to become Teacher's disciples. Upon hearing the shouts, everyone looked far into the distance with surprised and delighted expressions. From the buildings, the universe knights of the many races rushed out at top speed. Hurry up. Craftsman Master is about to make an appearance. Hurry up. The chance to enlist Craftsman Master's help in making true treasures is finally arriving. Thousands of universe knights came forth in large numbers. Remote Ocean Luo Feng, said Chrysalis Knight. Craftsman Master is about to appear. Remote Ocean Luo Feng? Remote Ocean Luo Feng? Chrysalis Knight went to Luo Feng's abode to look for him, but he could not find him anywhere. He could not help but let out a sigh. In the Yin Fa secret region, a lone universe planet ship cruised through space. Luo Feng's original earthling body sat in it, and beside him, a remote ocean body appeared. Earlier on, to ward off the blow Craftsman Master had dealt to Golden Horned Beast, Remote Ocean Body had supplemented Golden Horned Beast's godly body with more power, thus using up all his godly power. He was annihilated as a result. Naturally, another Remote Ocean Body would be formed. Where is it? Luo Feng muttered in alarm. My Golden Horned Beast body. Where has it gone to? Normally, I am able to connect with my Golden Horned Beast body through our consciousness, but I cannot sense its location. Luo Feng was taken aback. Nothing like this had ever happened before. Even on the original star, the two bodies had been able to sense each other's whereabouts. Where did Golden Horned Beast body go? Luo Feng wondered aloud. The land of Extremis. Where is it found in this universe? Luo Feng was growing increasingly perturbed. Even in his current standard, he still felt that the universe was a difficult book to read. There were always mysterious lands seemingly popping up out of nowhere. Going through that gigantic space whirlpool, Golden Horned Beast suddenly found himself in the middle of a starry sky. He looked around, feeling at a loss. This place. Where am I? Golden Horned Beast looked off into the distance. In the bright, starry sky, looking afar, there was the star level and a star traveler level. He could even see a gigantic, red star. Given Golden Horned Beast's eyesight, the vast, limitless galaxy he saw seemed like an ordinary starry sky. But Golden Horned Beast body was keenly aware that this place was nowhere near ordinary. He was unable to sense the space ripples, he also could not sense his god country or the virtual universe. How is this possible? Where are the space ripples? Golden Horned Beast let out a low growl while suspended in midair. He studied his surroundings. There are no spaces sealed, so where have all the space ripples disappeared to? Here in this vast starry sky, it was as though it was perfectly natural for space to be without a single trace of ripples. It was as if this place was completely isolated from the original universe. I cannot sense the virtual universe, and I cannot sense my god country. I was unable to connect to the virtual universe when I was in the original star, too, but this is only the second place in the entire universe where I have been unable to connect to the virtual universe. Golden Horned Beast surveyed his surroundings. He was quite aware of the capabilities of the virtual universe, and a place that could cut off all contact with the virtual universe was certainly no ordinary realm. What about the space whirlpool? Golden Horned Beast looked around. He had arrived here immediately after stepping through that space whirlpool. Thereafter, the space whirlpool had disappeared. Why did it disappear? Could it be that the space whirlpool on the Craftsman star can be transmitted to different spots randomly? Luo Feng was baffled. Back when he was at the ancestral god secret region, he had met with a spate of random occurrences involving space whirlpools where he was transported to the core lands of certain places. But Mosha body had eventually undergone an evolution. Luo Feng's Mosha body appeared in midair while Golden Horned Beast body hid within the world ring. This land of Extremis. What secret does it hold? Why do I not see any form of danger here? Luo Feng scrutinized his surroundings, but because he could not sense his god country, there was no way he could utilize god country transportation. Hence, his injuries would not be able to recover. Teacher sitting mountain guest. What does he have in mind for me? Luo Feng wondered. Luo Feng was no fool. While planning a way to steal the fourth metal board, he had not confirmed whether there was any relation between Craftsman Master and Teacher sitting mountain guest. However, when Golden Horned Beast was caught while trying to escape, Craftsman Master had shown up. Craftsman Master's appearance wasn't a surprise. What was surprising was the minor punishment he had meted out. He had not even taken back the metal board, nor had he taken any of Luo Feng's true treasures before tossing him into the space whirlpool leading to the land of Extremis. What a weak race. The audacity to steal. Surely, Craftsman Master knew that for a being to come out of the black gourd alive, he must have a formidable true treasure armor, thought Luo Feng. Even though he knew this, Craftsman Master still did not take any of my valuables. How could he be so benevolent? Even a benevolent master would have killed me right away. And if he intended to punish me instead, there are many ways to do so. Why would he desert me in the land of Extremis? Super great beings kill one another on the original star for the sake of obtaining top-tier true treasures. Yet craftsman master is unable to see a valuable true treasure right before his eyes. No. I am truly a fool. This must have been teacher sitting mountain guest's arrangement. Luo Feng was grateful to sitting mountain guest for this, but he was doubtful of his intentions and motives. Sitting mountain guest usually showed much indifference to Luo Feng, but when he had instructed Luo Feng to obtain the first 3 black metal boards, Luo Feng had to obtain the 3 boards in 3 different stages, one when he was at Sector Lord level, the second when he was at Undying level, and the third when he was at Universe Knight level. They were clearly 3 different tests. Back when I was seeking the Green Knight and the Purple Knight, I eventually ended up being sent to Ice Hell, Luo Feng recalled. If not for Master of Skywolf, I'm afraid I would have been there a long time. I would have had to kill a colossal number of great beings in Ice Hell to make it out alive. Is this like teacher sitting mountain guest's motive back then? Luo Feng could only speculate, as sitting mountain guest's arrangements were usually more casual and impromptu. Even if Luo Feng was able to escape thanks to Master of Skywolf and Primal Chaos City Leader, sitting mountain guest would not intervene. What about this time? What is his motive this time? If it weren't for Master of Skywolf and Primal Chaos City Leader, I would have been trapped in Ice Hell for a long, long time. Luo Feng looked up at the vast, starry sky. In this mysterious land of extremis, I can't sense my god country, nor the virtual universe. I can't even determine its universe coordinate. There is no way I can seek help. And if my godly body is depleted, I can't go to the remote ocean to recharge. The moment I fail, Luo Feng said to himself, my force armor, 9 Tiger River, and Shawu wings will be gone. I can't afford to worry. Regardless of what sitting mountain guest has in mind, he is training me, and I have improved my abilities so rapidly, all thanks to him. Regardless, capability is the fundamental concern. Luo Feng speculated no more. Immediately, he transformed into a beam of light and flew off at top speed. He continued accelerating and soon reached the speed of light. Luo Feng's eyes widened. I have reached the speed of light. No. I am starting to exceed the speed of light. Why am I still not entering the dark universe? While in the form of light, Luo Feng was dumbfounded. What is this place? Is this really the original universe? Could it be that there is another universe that is similar to the original universe? This video will end here.